Hey guys.
Well, it says it's starting. I don't know if it started yet.
It's starting.
You're live
we are now live.
4:11.
I feel like we should apologize to
411.
America. Or in other countries too. Are there any countries you don't want to apologize for our behavior?
There's a few.
Do you have
bad
any
ones out
beefs
there.
against any countries?
Oh, I have some beefs against countries.
I don't think you should have beefs against countries.
Uruguay.
You can have beefs against
Too many
governments.
vowels.
Did you share this to your page, by the way?
I haven't yet. I was too busy.
So tonight's podcast is either going to be really fun or really depressing because I had a shitty day. It's gonna be interesting. Let's see if any of our friends join us, and hopefully we get not only some of our friends to join us, but maybe they share our podcast with some friends, or they share it with some friends, or maybe they hate it and then they send it to their enemies. We're cool with that too, because we know that putting ourselves in a public forum like this opens us up to a lot of criticism.
Ridicule.
Yeah, that's okay. We thank you for your clicks. And that's actually an interesting point. It's something I've talked to people about on the internet a lot, is if you don't agree with something, if you don't like someone, don't engage with their post. When you do that, you're helping
Just say
them.
nothing.
I've tried to explain it a billion times to every idiot, and I hate to be specific, but on Situate Monthly mostly, is that when you don't agree with someone, do not comment on their shit. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, and in the world in general. But yeah.
Yeah, any attention is good attention, and people just will like the attention. So they'll fight with you online, they'll fight with you in the grocery store or whatever, and they want you to, they want to be heard. So in any way, shape, or form.
I think people are lonely, and that's part of the reason why we do the podcast is we don't want people to feel so lonely. I know what that's like, having been sick for 10 years now, and Doug does his best, but up until not so very recently, but up until September, he had a full-time job of taking care of me and the house and his kids and like everything. So yeah, I would be lonely a lot. And sometimes you're even lonely when you're like, I mean, I love Doug and we're best friends, but like sometimes you're even lonely like when the person's in the room with you because you're just not there at that moment. And especially when you're dealing with something that nobody else like is experiencing, or like that you don't feel like you can connect with people that are experiencing. Like for me, I live with Lyme disease, and I have a really bad case, and there's always, of course there's the Lyme community. I have so many friends there, but so many people look to me to be the strong one, and it's really hard for me to fall apart. I have a few friends I fall apart on, thank you. Of course, my diagnosis day friend Darlene and a bunch of other people, but it's hard because like, especially if somebody's having a bad day, you don't want to say anything to them, blah blah blah. And for Doug, like Doug's a caregiver, and when he's got the weight of supporting two families and being a caregiver, and I'm fucking crazy and going on the internet and telling everybody about his wiener. So did I tell them about the bend yet?
Probably not, no. But that's between me and my urologist. Really.
You don't go to the doctor. You still haven't shit in the box. Do you want to see the box? It's the Cologuard box, all sealed up nice.
My doctor gave me the Cologuard box. And
3 years ago.
Did it.
3 years ago.
I just never
You
did
also
it.
had the hormone testing.
There's a lot of pressure.
Kit in your nightstand. Have you done the hormone?
You know how to
testing
make?
kit?
You know how you make a hormone?
Tell her a dad joke. Ugh.
That makes you the whore in that joke. You just made
I
a
haven't
joke
been a
about
whore
yourself
since at least
10 years ago.
2012. 2012. That's how far back.
That's how far back we go.
We've been together.
The neighborhood dog.
So it's super windy. It's so windy. Our rocking chairs out front flipped over. The flamingos were all out of the pool. It was bonkers. And
You can
so
see
it's
you
the
can see the
neighborhood
palms back
dogs
there.
up until right before we started. The neighborhood dogs were. I don't know why these people don't bring their pets in.
Well, maybe because they make too much noise.
I really need to be in a place where I can't see my neighbors.
I just read.
Like Berkeley, Massachusetts, the best place on earth.
I just read online that.
Although the fire department needs more money, give the fire department more money. Chief Fornia is doing the best possible job you can imagine. But between him, the deputy, they only have 4 firemen for the entire town. Crazy.
Do we have a big demographic?
I know they
in
still have
Berkeley?
volunteers, but do we have a big demographic in Berkeley?
Yeah. How many people are watching in Berkeley?
No, but you know what? After watching this, people are going to be like, well, they live in Cape Coral, Florida. They're telling us it's too crowded. I can't move to Florida. I've got a family here, a job here, or whatever they have in New England. And they say, what, Berkeley, Massachusetts? Right down the road. We can live there. We can live there. You can live in Berkeley, Massachusetts.
It's going to be gentrified.
Oh God, no.
Whiteys.
Well, first of
Milk
all,
faces.
we actually had I think, I'm not really sure, but the first black family in Berkeley moved in like 4 doors up from us when I was in high school.
Welcome them with open arms.
I welcome everybody, but like it's just funny because like I went to a high school where there was one black kid and she had blue eyes, but I think that they were contacts. Liz, she actually became a flight attendant, or that's what she told me she was going to do at graduation. It's in my yearbook. Still, no one has guessed what I got my varsity letter in. Keep them coming, kids.
Yeah.
I think there's been about 50 guesses so far, and not one has gotten it. And people have been texting me. It's been good. Oh, yes. That's okay if you don't have a full hour tonight. You stay for as little as you want, as long as you want. You can always watch it tomorrow. The videos are all on YouTube. I'm so sorry I haven't gotten them up onto Spotify and Apple iTunes, whatever it is, the Apple one. And
Apple one.
we're going to do shorter clips and TikTok and all that stuff. I just haven't been feeling well, and today was no exception. So part of what we're talking about is, people offering to let us fall apart of them. You want to move back to Massachusetts? Not really, though. Well, today it does feel like a Massachusetts day.
Yeah, it's like a breezy. Well, it was 70 there today, I heard. So it was.
Yeah, I got up to 79 here today.
Yeah. So we win. Haha. No, but it was super windy, and yeah.
I love the Florida weather, though. It's like I miss seeing snow, and I definitely miss driving my Jeep in the snow. But we get these beautiful tropical showers every afternoon, and they're so nice. And we don't, obviously not until the rainy season, so it's just starting to start. Like we haven't gotten our afternoon showers yet, but we're starting to get more showers and more winds. So soon it'll be 3 o'clock. Run for your life. It's a monsoon, and I'm not kidding. Like I had the top, the top off the Jeep. You know, we had the bikini top, and we had the doors off. And I went to lunch with my friend in Fort Myers. This was last spring. It was my first time getting caught. And so, well, we've gotten caught like on the way home, but we've had the bikini top on. This was no top. So I'm at lunch and it's starting to rain, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I sprint. Can you imagine me sprinting? That sounds a little bit like the ba with the ba to bang ding. That's what my titties do. They're like a Kid Rock song.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they are.
Take
like
a shot every
song.
time I jiggle my boobs on national
whatever
podcast. It's not national television, it's national podcast.
It's not.
Okay, so I ran across the parking lot, put the top back on. You would swore that I jumped in a pool by the time I got inside. And I go inside, and it's like a nice restaurant. And I wrung myself out as best I could, but I didn't have it on. I just sat there like all soggy in my chair and melting away. And there was literally a puddle under my seat when I got up. I wiped the floor, and I left a monster tip.
I do know that one day we were driving home and we're fine, right? And then we took a corner, but the wind, it was blowing the rain sideways. So I would get nailed, and no door, right? And then
you got to post that video because that would be great.
And then we turned the other way, she'd get it and all that stuff. We're just howling, we're laughing, but like also going crazy. So I started a GoFundMe to so we could afford doors on our car.
We don't want doors.
But actually, we have them. We just don't have them.
One of them's got a dent in it because one of the kids hit it.
Well, that's true.
Oh, blame it on the neighbors. Good one, Anna.
Yeah. Anyway, so my car has 4 doors. Nice roof.
We love you.
Nice roof. Nice roof. 4 doors. Heated seats if you need it.
This is how many have we had now? 3, 4?
Volvos?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
so
of the S60s is the
third. Number 3.
Okay, so third Volvo S60. However, on number 1 at Volvo S60, I accidentally left the roof open, and I got in big trouble.
All right. So we have a system where if you disrespect
Not here,
the
it was in
Volvo,
Massachusetts.
if you disrespect the Volvo, you get minus Volvo points. She got a lot of.
And if you get
minus
enough minus Volvo points, you get a Jeep.
That's basically what
That's how
happened.
many Volvo points.
So she got their
I have.
Jeep. I got a Volvo, and then somebody hit me on the street, and now I got another Volvo.
You gotta tell the story about the Jeep.
I don't need to tell a story about the Jeep.
You gotta tell the story about the Jeep.
I totaled my Volvo S60.
No, the part before that.
Yeah.
When Doug and I started dating, he wrote in his notes in his phone, "Buy Stacy a Jeep."
Well, it was all these things you kept talking about, like go here and do this, or we wanted things we wanted to do together, and then it was like one of the things was to.
And then I had to go and get fucking sick.
Yeah.
Yay.
Bitch.
Fun. Love it.
That was but you know what? Of all those, it was funny because a couple of those things we've done a lot of them, but like a couple of those things. Now we don't even want to do.
Like
Like,
what?
I remember New York City. I'm like, yeah, but you don't like New York, and I don't like really New York City, so that one's out.
I'm sorry. I know we try to interact with our viewers
No.
at the end,
But
Tracy just suggested that I had a varsity letter in track and field. Oh my God, I wish Toby was here. In high school, you had to do this presidential fitness
Yeah,
test
yeah, yeah,
or
the test,
whatever,
yeah.
like, and you had to run a quarter mile. My friend Toby, by the way, this was pre-Toby being out of the closet, but he was like the gay best friend in high school, and he's so amazing then, he's so amazing now, he's an amazing dad, just love him. Although we don't agree on politics, but that's okay because we still like and respect one another. Toby's one of the few people I think you can have, not the few, but like one of a handful of people that I can have an intelligent conversation with on the issues without them being like, you're this or that or whatever. And I would never do that to anyone anyway. Anyway, what was I talking about?
Toby Sooth.
Toby Seuss. So we had to run the quarter
track and
mile.
field.
He literally he ran the whole thing backwards and dragged me. And I was skinny. I weighed like, I don't know, like 110 pounds back then. And 30 pounds of it was tits. I was always boobalicious. I mean, the other 20 was ass, and, you know, it was a lot. But anyway, Toby dragged me around the course, and I appreciate him because I would probably still be in high school. Although high school, in like looking at my life, was probably a pretty good time for me, even though I was teased a lot. Anyway, the topic tonight was, I had a bad day. I'm usually the like voice of reason around here, like, okay, calm down, like take a breath, like what's really going on, what's the worst case scenario, whatever. And a lot of people come to me, and it's just been a lot lately, and there was just something that triggered me this afternoon. It was like, this morning, I guess, and it was just stressful, and I'm fine now, but it was just like all the stuff like adding up, being stressed about money and the job thing, and me, obviously my illness is a daily problem, and the situation with my kids, and I'm worried about my stepkids, and I've got one of my friends had surgery this morning, and thank you everybody who prayed for Darcy, and I haven't heard from her, so I'm kind of freaking out. And I don't want to her mom's got her 5 kids right now that she's watching. So I don't want to bother Sally, although I have her number somewhere, and I'm Facebook friends with her. And, I just, please pray for my friend Darcy. She's not out of the woods yet. And then my friend Dave, who I've been friends with since 1992, is having surgery on Friday. So if you say a little prayer for Dave, send him some healing vibes, whatever you do. I don't know. Wish upon a star for Dave. If you get a wishbone and you pull, wish that Dave's okay, wish that Darcy's okay, wish everybody's healthy. That would be if I had 3 wishes, that would be
3 wishes?
top list. What if you had 3 wishes? What would you wish for?
Oh God. Well, you to be healthy, 1. Yeah, that's
You gotta think bigger than that. For everyone to be healthy.
everyone.
Mentally, for everyone, you have to be very specific.
Yeah, right.
You have to, because those
It's
genes are tricky.
It's like
Wait,
it's like
can I
Chat
tell you-
GBT.
I'm gonna tell you my favorite joke when I was a kid.
Okay.
Okay. I had 2 favorite jokes when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
One of them I didn't even I'm Portuguese. I'm gonna tell you the first one. It's completely unrelated.
I'll tell you my favorite joke when you're done.
Okay, but we have to get back to the subject
Yes,
about what we're gonna
indeed.
wish a genie for.
Yeah.
So everybody, when I hear what you would wish a genie for, put it in the comments. Okay, but you have to be very specific in the wording. But we'll get back to that. You think about that while we tell these stories. So when I was a kid, I'm Portuguese, and I had been
Allegedly.
told this joke by someone, and I didn't really get that they were making fun of Portuguese people, nor did I get that that was offensive. But I heard it from a Portuguese person,
So it was
more,
okay.
way more Portuguese than me.
All right.
So I think it's how Jews can give each other a hard time, blacks can give each other a hard time, Asians. But I don't know if the different versions of each one can give each other.
But
I
if
don't know.
other people do it,
But it
it's
seems
not
like
all right.
if
Okay,
you're part
I
of a
got
group,
you.
you can
I
make
got
fun
you.
of
I got
people. That's okay. And although if you're really tight with somebody, our close, you're friends with us when we give you a hard time. If we don't give you a hard time, we probably don't.
About your color or race or creed or whatever.
Your
No,
sexual preference.
Yeah, well, yeah. you
Oh my
can-
God, I tell Nolan all the time, don't be a stereotype. And he laughs because he's my buddy.
Well,
I'm
we
a
did.
friend with the yellow Crocs.
All right, so
I think he
continue
wears
on
the
your
white ones more.
continue on your joke.
Okay, so this was the joke that I was taught, and obviously I would never tell this joke, but it's the joke I ran around telling everyone as a kid. 3 guys walking in the desert: an Irishman, an Italian, and a Portuguese.
This is getting us canceled.
Well, the Irishman is carrying an umbrella to keep himself cool, and he's pale, so he can't get the sun. The Italian has a jug of water to feed his thirst, and the Portuguese has a car door. So the reporter comes along and says, "What are you carrying?" And he says, and they all explain. And he says, comes to the Portuguese, and he says, "Why are you carrying a car door?" And he says, "In case it gets hot, I can roll down the window," which I'm sure has been told about every racial group ever. But I would go around as a kid and tell this joke to everyone. Like, I told this joke to absolutely oh my God, no wonder I'm only a quarter Portuguese. I thought I was half.
But now you're not.
So that was that joke. But
Okay.
the other joke that I would tell.
I hope this joke's. I don't know. I hope this joke is. What were you
I
gonna?
think we're being watched by. We are. Neighbors are watching.
Okay.
Okay. So.
Don't say anything. Maybe they're Portuguese and they're driving by with their car door with their.
I don't even have car doors. I've solved the problem. Portuguese people everywhere buy Jeeps. Throw out the doors. Obviously,
Take it
we're
back.
very intelligent.
Take it back. Take back
And
the
we're
no door
awesome.
thing.
But we have cankles and sometimes a beard. Usually a beard. I have a beard.
You don't have a.
Yeah, I pulled them out.
Oh my
What,
God.
can we talk about the hair I pulled out of my tummy the other day?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
I pulled out a hair. I'm like floating around the pool. Pull out a hair in my tank top, by the way, no bottoms. And the tank top covers nothing. My dreadlocks cover more than that tank top covers. The hair was this long. And I wanted to show it to Doug. I wanted to hand it to him. He wouldn't take it.
It would gross me out. It's totally grossing me
You
out.
think I'm gross?
I think that would be like I don't want to see stuff that comes out of your body, like I don't want to see polyps. I don't want to see moles you've had
That's a good
removed.
story.
I don't want to see this.
Doug has seen a polyp. He didn't like it.
All right, so my favorite joke when I was a kid was, why'd the monkey fall out of the tree? Because he was dead. I don't know why. It just cracks me up because I have this visual of a monkey falling out of a tree and making a thump on the
right
ground.
now.
It's not a dad joke. That's not a dad joke.
Kind of. Okay, so this is the joke I would tell.
Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you told the second joke already.
I told the first joke. This is the second joke, but the second joke actually loops back in, so you did
Okay.
perfectly.
All right. Good.
So this is for the 3 wishes. So, there's a guy finds a magic lamp, and he says to the rubs the genie, pops out, and says you have 3 wishes. 3 wishes. Can't kill anybody. Can't make anybody fall in love. Whatever. And he says, I wish I had a mansion. Poof, mansion. I wish I had a limousine. Poof. I wish I had a limousine. And he said, you know what? I want to think a little bit on this 3rd wish. Can I get back to you? And he's like, yeah, just rub the lamp and I'll come out and you get your 3rd wish. So he's driving around in his limousine and he's thinking to himself, singing to himself the song on the radio. I wish I were an Oscar Minor wiener, and everybody fall in love with me. And poof, they turn him into an Oscar Minor wiener. So you have to be very, very specific with genies in your request. Okay, so
Said the guy with a 6-foot-tall rooster.
what are your requests? Who had a 6-foot-tall rooster?
He wasn't specific in his wish for a giant.
Cock?
Yeah.
He didn't ask for a giant cock. He asked for a mansion. You can't make up your own version of the story.
No, I'm not. It's a joke.
I know.
I was making a joke on top of a joke related to the other joke. It's called comedy,
You only get
folks.
3 wishes, Doug. There are neurodivergent people in the crowd and on this patio who insist that you come up with your own fucking joke. Make it a standalone joke. Don't jump on my coattails.
So
You're
sorry.
just looking to latch on to a woman.
I am. Why is my finger like a pie?
Oh, shut up!
All right, I won't say it.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. We were
No,
talking.
tell him.
It's got meringue on it. It's like a pie. It's funny.
Oh my God, he's the
Good.
worst.
It's an oldie, but a
He's
goodie.
the worst.
Not the worst.
The worst. Anyway, we were talking about, 3 wishes. What would your 3 wishes be?
I don't know. I mean, I would like to see you healthy, and I would see
but
everybody.
hey,
I like to see everybody.
I would
healthy.
like to see everyone in the world I wish for everyone in the world. No, I wish for everyone, every human, every living thing to be healthy forever.
I would also like to eliminate hate and bias and injustice and things of that nature.
I would like to have limitless funds. I don't think that people who are emotionally and physically healthy hate. I don't think people who are emotionally and physically healthy, like, I think they're happy.
Well,
I don't want everybody to be happy all the time. And it's actually funny because somebody said something, I can't remember what it was. To get infinite wishes. I don't think that's a good idea. I think you need the struggle. And it's actually funny because a friend of mine today was talking about a colleague, and the colleague like complains about things that most people wouldn't complain about. You know, that they're out of touch. And I don't know how to tell this. Anyway, but the reality is that, like, I think if you have things handed to you and your life has been really easy, you don't really understand. Whereas my friend has had a job since he was 12 years old. And this other kid, you know, he went to private school, he's gone on luxurious vacations, and it's a very different life. It doesn't mean that it's bad, but I think that, you know, there's a disconnect there between people who grow up with a lot and have a lot handed to them versus those who don't have things handed to them. And the funny thing is, kids having things handed to them isn't necessarily a matter of family wealth, because there are families that just spoil their kids rotten, and then there's wealthy families that don't give their kids shit. It's just, you know, there's differences. And of course, part of the differences are things like access or, you know, nepotism, like making a phone call. I mean, I actually have made phone calls for my kids. So,
like, I wish somebody would make a phone call for me. Give me a job. Although I do have an informational interview on Friday, Thursday. Yeah, a little something. Could be something. That almost sounded like a loon up on the lake in Maine. Your lip hurts?
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh, I had tomatoes.
I made homemade pizza tonight. It was fantastic.
With fresh grown we grew our basil in a container, and we grew our tomatoes in a container. We started them in the
it's called container gardening.
We started them in the Aero Garden, and then outside. Okay, so my other wish would be, so everybody be physically and wealthy, emotionally happy. Actually, I would want to do away with commerce entirely. I would want a gifting economy.
Gifting.
I would like the world to become a gifting economy.
It's very close to a swinging economy, like the villages.
And I would want everyone to be filled with love and laughter.
Love and laughter. I think once you start there, the rest of the stuff takes care of itself, I think.
I think it's actually a pug.
Oh, it might be.
That's howling away. Okay.
It's actually an alien trapped in a pug's body trying to get out.
Okay, so we were going to talk, so I asked about the wishes. We were talking about feeling like you have to be on. Oh, so one thing that Doug's pointed out about our relationship is, what was it again?
It was about being on or not being on.
Yeah, well.
And with two extroverts like us, you would know that by watching this podcast that I'm an extrovert, but because I'm fairly quiet on this podcast. But you can kind of take the night off. It can be the Stacy show, or she can take the night off. It'll be the Doug show. But I find that when Stacy's energy is not in the room or not, available, whether she's not feeling well or whatever, it's hard to replace that much energy in a room or a given situation. So,
but we both had it be the case where like you feel pressure, and like I'll go into a situation where I'm like, okay, like don't be Stacy, and I'll be quiet, and then people will be like, can you
you do your thing.
Do your thing. Can you hold court? It's been referred to as holding court more than once, and I do. I have a tendency to hold court. I've done it. Oh, I have a few stories about holding court.
Well, I do think that, like, especially in business and work and stuff like that, like there's some people that, like, even in leadership positions, just can't hold a room. They can't hold a table. They can't hold a meeting.
Can't hold a room. You can't sell anything.
Well, I mean, it's not really just about selling,
inspire.
but it's like you're not going to inspire people. You're not going to inspire ideas. You're not going to. And who the hell wants to work with a bunch of mopes?
I think you can inspire, but you won't do as much inspiration as if you are.
Well, it's a different style, right? It's not exciting.
Screaming child.
That's because the pug attacked it because it was hungry.
The child?
Fort Myers. Fort Myers pug comes to Cape Coral to eat baby.
Okay. So what were you saying about being on?
Being on. So yeah. Sometimes you're on. And like today, we were both kind of off, and she was
But
definitely
we did beat
off.
our level at Mario.
We beat a level of Mario,
We
which
have 2
is
more to
one of the
go.
bonus levels. So we're
And we're
couple-
actually, it's 1.5 more to go.
1.5, yeah.
1.5
So
more
we're,
to go.
you know, I know
Every
you guys
star.
are riveted
Every
about
star.
this, but yeah, we were actually too off today to even like swear at the screen.
Excuse me, it's the Daytona 500 on Cape Coral.
Well, it's Florida. There are no rules here. There are no rules.
That's
You don't
not
even
true.
need your car inspected.
Oh, it's the best.
You can get like decorative plates. I don't think the
No
numbers
inspection.
mean anything.
No, we
really.
use hieroglyphics on our plates. You have a palm tree, a marlin, and a grouper.
I saw one the other day. It was
Oh, I'm very jumpy, by the way. And that's why I screamed when the Jehovah's Witnesses came to the door.
Jehovah's Witnesses are not coming back. See what I mean? When she screamed on the Jehovah, those folks, I mean, God love them, Jehovah love them, whatever. They were scarred, and I. That's one way to get on the podcast, right there. Is sit in your garage and beat the horn at the people across
This week's
the
guest
field.
is a Honda Accord. I don't know what kind of car it is.
I couldn't tell you from the horn, but
I bet
if I
there's
could,
somebody
that
out
would be.
there. I bet
that would
there's
be
somebody
pretty
out there that
different.
could
No,
identify it.
nobody's going to
Basically.
identify it by the horn. Although I do know that most car horns beep in the key of F. I do know that.
Okay.
You know why I know that?
I just had a mental picture. I was like, oh my God, what if somebody is trying to mess with our podcast and they're beeping their horn? And then I'm like, wait, what if the neighbors are listening? What if people are watching? Because when I was a kid, I used to take the radio outside. Oh, I would
Yeah.
dance in the living room, and I have a story about. I think I'm too jumpy for this.
That was the same dog that we've been hearing for half an hour.
Oh, I think
so.
that was a palm. I'm high, by the way.
Shocker.
New. It's just I'm not even peaking yet. I wasn't even like a little high when we started. Now it's starting kicking. What was I? Oh, I would dance in the
Dancing in the
backyard,
back.
and I would have like my boombox out there, and I would dance to usually Madonna or something ridiculous. And there were kids that would watch, and I think that they made fun of me the whole time. I got made fun of a lot as a kid. I was more normal than I am now. I was way more normal.
Well, I was in a band and people made fun. They'd go to the show, and it was funny. One of the shows we played.
Did you get paid for the gig?
This was a battle of the high school bands. We played at E.M. Lowe's Theater, which is now the Palladium in Worcester. It was a big place, and all the high schools from town, and we represented my high school, Doherty High, and so we were the only punk band. So everybody's doing Led Zeppelin, doing the thing, and everybody else. We go up there and play this obscure crap, a bunch of originals. And the stuff just comes raining out of the crowd, hitting us, everything. I remember stuff bouncing off. I'm looking at my strings and they're bouncing off, right? And then the funniest part, my brother remembers this, was that somebody threw about 20 feet of rope at my brother, who was playing bass across the stage from me. So, like, somebody actually went to that show, brought 20 feet of rope just to throw it at the punk band. So, it was
That's
kind of
crazy.
fun.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about dancing
being
in the
on.
backyard.
So we're talking about being on. So being on. So I think it's like, it's good that you can do it, but it's stressful when everybody expects you to do it all the time. And we've kind of put the pressure of the podcast on ourselves, and it's like, oh, like, and I actually said to Doug tonight, I was like, do we even want to do the podcast? And he was like, yeah. And we've actually had 3 times like this now where one of us has been like, I don't want to do the podcast, or both of us. And actually we've had one and one of both. And we did it anyway, and it ended up being some of our best podcasts.
Like tonight is riveting.
I-
About the boombox in the backyard and the
Don't be
car door.
Don't be self-deprecating.
No, it's all good stuff.
funny.
People like this stuff.
I don't know. Tracy
I like
seems
this
to think
stuff.
it's funny. I don't
Yeah.
know who else is watching.
She's not
If
staying for the
anybody
whole
else is
hour,
watching.
though.
We have
She's-
3
yeah.
viewers, so
Yeah.
somebody is watching. Anyway, what were we talking about? Oh, so sometimes it's hard, and it's like it's nice to have somebody you can pass that off to. I have a funny story from my single days.
Oh.
So I had on. So I had been dating a
We
lot.
have dogs on tonight.
I had.
With
What?
car horns, dogs, falling palm trees.
How is that related to what I was saying?
I'm sorry, go ahead. It's exciting. That's all.
Okay, yes, it's exciting. Lots of excitement. No hurricane yet, though. I wonder if we'll have to be out here for a hurricane next year.
We're not doing that. We're going
I'll
north.
do it. We'll get a GoPro. We're not going north. We survived a Cat 5. We can't pussy out on a 3. Okay, so. Sorry, my lips are dry. Our house, believe it or not, is very, very dry. We have to run a humidifier because our house is so dry. It's so stupid. We have all the ceiling fans on all the time so we don't void our lease. And we have our air conditioning on most of the time. So the house is dry as shit. And so I always have to put lip balm on. Anyway, I was dating and I was having trouble finding somebody. And, I met a lot of nice people, had a lot of weird experiences. What are you laughing about?
Yeah, you're not for everybody.
I'm apparently not for everyone. I don't know. I had a line, so
Yeah, you had a line because you had big old titties.
I was like way hotter at the time. Anyway, my
Were you going to tell the story about how you had to tone it down for a date? Is that
oh yeah, sorry, my brain went. Whew. So my friends were like, just dial it back a little bit, like ask some questions about them, like just be like quiet and reserved. I'm like, okay, just be more reserved. And so I go on this date with this guy. Now, mind you, I'm wearing this orange halter dress and like 5-inch heels, and like I looked hot. And so we're there, and I'm just like sitting there all like napkin on my lap. Oh, what do you like to do for fun? And the guy fucking talked about golf for 45 minutes. It was the worst experience of my life.
That's what to
we
not
went
do.
to another place like to get a drink, and he goes, he goes, so I'm kind of getting the impression that you're like incredibly shy and not at all sexual. If you've ever watched this podcast, I think it would be safe to assume I might be a little sexual.
Well, I do think that might have been in reverse psychology. You know, you don't appear sexual. And then, like, you have to drive it into overdrive. You know, like, yeah, right here, mister.
Okay, first of all, the only kind of golf I'm interested in is mini golf.
It's the only kind of golf that really...
And any man that's going to try to talk to me about golf is with the wrong girl. One.
Well,
Two,
there are plenty of right
sold
girls for that.
medical devices.
Oh. Depends what they are. The nitrous? You give me a nice tank of nitrous?
Oh my God.
I
Okay,
don't do nitrous.
once again, let me give you the same drug lecture I've given to everyone else. If it grows in the ground, it's okay.
Where do you think they get nitrous? It's in the ground. It's a nitrous cave.
I need a dry erase board.
I honestly don't know where they get nitrous oxide from.
I want a dry erase board. Can you go get me one?
Sure, I'm going to go get you one.
No, like, we could use the plates? The plates from the Dollar Tree. We have these little white plates from the Dollar Tree. We might use them as dry erase boards.
Just hold them up and say, please help.
And we don't really have any dry erase markers, so we'll have to use, like, lipstick or something.
We'll come up with something. Yes, we're getting a call.
Hello?
We're getting a call. This is great.
I want to go to a nitrous cave. And someone needs to shoot that dog in the background.
I will not share your name with the
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit here quietly while you finish your call.
Okay.
And that dog
barks.
barks.
To my friends, but thank you for your guest spot tonight. Can I say your name?
I guess.
Zach. You guys have heard of Zach. Yay, Zach. Okay. Well, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Nitrous cave.
Nitrous cave.
So will be if Doug when Doug gets a job or his record hits
And we
big,
buy him a bunch of nitrous. We're going to have a party.
To a nitrous cave. Party.
Yeah, we could actually fly you guys all down and we'll have a big nitrous party.
It's actually funny because
I've never done nitrous recreationally. I'm
You
just
have
a lot
to.
of talk. Since when?
the whippets.
My brothers did the whippets. I just watched.
You did whippets in our fucking kitchen.
No,
you
I
liar.
did. Oh, the end of the whipped cream can. Yeah, that doesn't count. That's from nature. That's a whipped cream.
Does that mean blowjobs don't count?
Hand jobs don't count?
Hand jobs don't count.
No, they don't count. Apparently, to you, anyways.
So for my lesbian friends. Oh, I did the winking again.
Oh no! And you made a noise when you winked. It's like there's an adhesive in her eye, and it clicks when it opens. It's really strange.
We have to make sure, because these are supposed to all go to just audio.
Yes.
We have to make sure that we can.
That we don't do any visual stuff, and you've done a lot of visual hand gestures.
Well, yes. If you do listen to the audio
translate.
version of this, and you see something absurd, I'm probably making a hand gesture.
Yeah.
The more laughing there is, the more
Obscene.
gesturing there is.
But so yeah, apparently Zach did not like the dog, and he's a dog person. We were actually talking today, wasn't it? Today that you were asking him about getting a dog, and he couldn't get a dog because he doesn't.
Oh, he
live
can't
in
get a
the
dog because he's not home. And I said, you could take it to work with you.
Yeah.
But his job, he goes to a lot of people's houses, so he can like go, he gets to see all the dogs and the cats, and
And
he loves
some
them.
of the dogs are problematic.
Some are problematic. Some of the cats are problematic, but most of the time it's the homeowners.
Are problematic.
Sometimes it's dispatch. Sometimes it's his colleagues.
No,
and
no,
I'm
it's-
sure.
he's a
And
joy.
I'm
He's
sure
living-
sometimes it's him.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's the weather.
Anyway, we love him to pieces. What were we talking about before he
what?
so rudely interrupted us?
Who calls up during a podcast? That I don't understand that.
People
if
who
we
would be on the
ask for
podcast
calls,
if they didn't live in stupid
oh, that's right.
Massachusetts.
That's right.
Yeah, all the people that I would have on the podcast
Oh, we would have a lot
are
of
in
people.
Massachusetts and following along with this podcast.
Well, we'll have to do a split screen or something. We'll interview them like Ted Koppel back in the day.
that would be weird.
Do you know who Ted Koppel is?
I would ask weird questions.
Oh, I would love to ask, like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Steve.
I would ask people questions about their private parts,
Yes.
their sex life, their religious views. Like, I would totally offend them.
I would.
Sorry.
I'm
I'm
Stephen.
just interested. I'm a curious
Stephen,
person.
Stephen Colbert has the Colbert questionnaire that he asks people, and one of the questions I know he's like apples or oranges, or what's the best sandwich, stuff like that. That would be. I would love to come up with 10 questions for people.
Oh yeah, we talked about doing that.
Yeah, which I think is fascinating because I
Oh,
love.
actually, I think I had made those up for that crazy hippie chick. I was trying to
No.
launch a health and wellness thing, and I don't know. People said a lot of stuff that really discouraged me, and I was having trouble doing it, so I kind of stopped. And this is easy because we do nothing to prep. 15 minutes before, we bring everything out to the pool. We turn a bunch of lights on and push
Because
live.
this
It's
is
very easy.
Yeah. We can't be scripted. This will not be scripted.
No, I mean, I think what people want is connection. I think what they want is people that are real, and that's what we're trying to do. Yeah, I want to be honest with you guys. As much, there may be a few things I'm like, oh, I'm not ready to talk about that, but I'll always be transparent about that. And Doug is worried about, like, if he says something on the podcast, or maybe even if I say something, that it could affect him in the job market. But
And the other thing is, we don't really agree on politics. So sometimes you'll say something, and I will not say my part because
not
I'm
gonna
just like,
complain.
I'll let you go.
But
Whatever.
we do have opposing views on a lot of
We do.
issues, but we do agree on a lot of issues. Most often, we agree on the issue. We can find a medium ground on the issue. But if there's a candidate or a party item, we usually disagree. That's fair?
Me sort of, yeah. Well, I think the key is, right, at the bottom of politics, you just have to be a reasonable person, right? You have to look at all the sides of it.
And it's
You've got-
really hard to do that. You
and,
have
you
to
know,
really research things.
And there's and it's funny too, because I think a lot of people just by their upbringing are going to fall in a certain spot, right? And then through maybe their education or life experiences, they're going to fall in a different spot. And so everybody's got like kind of this, this wide, swatch of where they stand, like whether it's, death penalty versus so people are kind of all over the place. So it's always I always
when you
hate
see
like the
something
labels.
that's like listed as a simple fact, you have to ask yourself. Actually, today
Oh my God.
I went on Instagram to check and see if Darcy was out of the hospital yet, because she posted she was going in, and I went on Instagram, and there was a post that said the guy that went after Trump for Russian collusion just went to jail for Russian collusion, and I have to look that up, but I didn't have time because we were coming out to do the podcast. So if somebody wants to look that up, great. But the point is that, like, just because something may align with your viewpoint doesn't mean you should just accept it. You have to double check it, because stuff is, it's just the information we really want and need is hidden. We have to dig for it, and sometimes you can't even get it. And that's why we try to use alternative browsers. Like, don't Google if you were looking for something. It's a complete waste of your time. I'd go with I think DuckDuckGo was good, but I think it's not as good anymore because it got bought by somebody. So if you have a favorite browser for research, please let me know. I'll tell you this much: ChatGPT, can't trust it. You cannot
I will
trust
say
it.
I will say
And
this.
you cannot trust Wikipedia either.
Some people don't have the capacity or time to go and look at Department of Labor stats for unemployment
Maybe they
versus
don't,
the headline
but-
that they're going to see or whatever.
But you know what I would say is, if you're gonna vote, make sure you researched everything you vote on. I mean, it's okay to leave an item blank. It's okay.
Don't believe the hype, boy.
Okay, Flavor Flav. It's
Flavor
okay.
Flav.
You know, I would have times where I wouldn't know. Like, for example, you know, there would be candidates for like treasurer in town or something, and I hadn't researched it, so I just didn't vote on it because I don't want to sway it one way or the other. I want like the people's vote to go. And you know, sometimes what I'll do is, if I have like, particularly for local elections, I had back home I had my friend Andrea. Of course, Devin and too, but I would always talk to Andrea. I'd be like, hey, like, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? We don't always agree on things. Like, for example, I'm very pro-cannabis. She's very anti-cannabis. Although I think she believes in medical. I don't want to speak for her, but we have a different opinion on it. And we're still friends. We've still, you know, stood and held signs together. And it's actually funny when the first time she had me hold a sign for... the real deal was Richard Deal. I forget what his first name was. He was very nice. He was a very qualified candidate. I believe he's going to run for governor, or he just ran for governor. I'm out of the loop on Massachusetts politics, but I held a sign for him, for her. She asked me to hold a sign, so I did. I don't know how I got through that 45 minutes. And this was when I was doing better than I am now. It was probably the hardest thing I'd ever done in my life. And then I did
Except
it
for the
again.
quarter mile that you had to be dragged.
Then I did it
for.
again in support of President Trump and the Back the Blue. Not that I don't support everyone. I just I was seeing what was happening to my police officer friends and how they were being treated. And you know, we've talked about it before. Just because one person or a group of people is awful doesn't mean everyone is like that. Let's judge every individual by that their individual personal details, or let's not judge anyone because we haven't walked in their shoes. We don't know what their fucking deal is. What the hell was I talking about?
I don't remember.
We
All I know is there was somebody running for office in Norwell.
So I had a sign and I stood there. That's it. I was just
So you stood
doing my thing.
and you stood aside.
What I'm saying is that, like, you can have
different views.
You can have different views, but like also you can talk to people in your, you know, that you trust who do that research if you don't have time to do it.
Right, and yeah, and with algorithms and everything else, you're going to get loaded with a bunch of biased towards your view crap. I see it every day.
Yeah, but my point is that if you don't have time to do the
Right.
research yourself,
Ask me. I'll tell you what to do.
do not ask him.
Yeah, I'll tell you what to do.
Do not ask him. He
I've
does not have
I've
time.
had dinner
Do you
with
have-
Elizabeth Warren.
Do you? I've also had dinner with
That was
Elizabeth
really-
Warren,
that was
and I've
really
danced
fun.
with John Kerry.
I've actually met John Kerry. He was a good-looking dude.
Did you slow dance with him
I
as
actually.
a 12-year-old girl?
Oh, that's.
Yeah, it was a little creepy.
Did he sniff your hair?
Probably. It was at like
good
a
hair sniffing
VFW.
joke.
Somebody was sniffing my hair. That's for sure.
Wow.
Okay. Hey kids, let's go to the VFW.
You sniff some girl's hair.
Are you done with your story?
Yeah, I don't have any more stories.
Okay. So we were talking about politics.
And we were talking about
being
being
able
all
to
the
disagree.
time.
Being able to disagree.
Yeah, we're able to disagree.
But we were onto a different topic, and I don't even fucking know what we were talking about.
It was. It's been a tough day. People.
It has been a day. It's been a day. We just have had a lot going on. We're okay.
You know,
but
it might be a good time.
today Doug's been like, you know, the one stressed out, and like people in our lives stressed out, and of course I always pull it together. And today, between being worried about my friend and just not feeling good and being sick and being stressed out, I fell apart.
Well,
It's gonna happen.
everybody's got
Everybody's got their shit.
everybody's got their limit. for
You know
sure.
what? Part of the reason we got thrown off is because we got a phone call from
Yeah,
Massachusetts.
that was not okay.
Well, not to mention the dogs and the trees
And the
birds
dog. Well,
and
the dogs have quieted
You know,
down.
y'all, we
The
have
Honda
a hard
quieted
time
down.
paying attention under perfect
Yeah.
circumstances.
Well, we had the Honda beeping.
If we had like a Gelman type character here, you know,
Yeah,
like
to
from
keep us in-
Live with Regis and
Well,
Kelly Lee
somebody
or
needs to
whatever
strike
it is.
fear into you, especially me. I'm easy going. I tell a joke here.
There's lots of
Very
fear.
funny.
I screamed like 5 times. This has been crazy. So we were gonna tell. Go ahead.
I was thinking, like, we go back to our list of things that we do. Obviously.
Well, I was going to talk about Lenny tonight because I mentioned, I think we should talk about Lenny tonight.
Oh,
Do you want to do that
well,
a little bit?
It's maybe not tonight because we have like 15 minutes till 9
Yeah, but
o'clock.
I can finish that, and I don't know where that is.
Don't know where what is.
That list.
The
I don't know where it
list.
is. I'll have to look for it.
We have to write it down, folks.
I have it written down. We just kind of gave ourselves a rough idea as to what to talk about. A friend of mine was nope, that's not it. That's not it. I don't know. I might have to write it again. So a friend of mine was volunteering with hospice, and she was driving a very small Volkswagen at the time, and this is a large man that she was visiting, and so she asked me if I could come up with the Jeep and we could take him to see his house. So she was visiting this man, Lenny, and he was from Hopkinton, Massachusetts. Actually, last year, Hopkinton's Veteran of the Year.
Woot.
And whoop, and what was that?
Those guys, they presented the stuff.
Oh, we're not there. We're
okay.
not there.
All right, okay, all right.
So anyway, so I went up with her and met her friend Lenny, and of course we quickly became friends. And Lenny was an eccentric, wealthy, dirty old man millionaire. Like he was also charming and funny but like crazy. So
he had all the old school VHS porn.
We're gonna
in
get
that
there.
house.
We're gonna get there. So,
I went over that once. It
so
was everywhere.
So I didn't see porn. I only knew about the Playboys.
Oh, there was all kinds
there
of
were videos?
Yeah. Oh yeah, he had boxes of them.
Okay, so
They're in the garage.
Okay, so
They're
I
not in
had
the
this
garage.
friend, Lenny, and so my friend was visiting him. So he wanted to go to his house. So he told us about his mansion that was down the street, and he hadn't been there in 6 months. So he's been in hospice for 6 months, but like he's still kicking. Like he's doing better than he was before he got into the hospital. And so we go back to the house, and we go back to the house, and it's a disaster on the outside. And we're like, okay, well, nobody's been here to do the lawn, and his Volvo was in the driveway, and his nephews were supposed to start it, and they didn't. So we go inside, and there's just like boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. The water's not running because the well has seized, because the nephews were supposed to run it and they didn't. According to him, by the way, this is all according to Lenny. I haven't even talked to them. I mean, I've talked to them, but not like, I'm not going to be like, so your uncle says, because he was prone to be crazy, so maybe not, but that's his version of the story. So anyway, so we took him to his house, and we said, well, what would you want? And he's like, I want to move home. And he's like, this place is a mess. And I said, well, if you want to do something about the house, I can help you find people. And so I started I started like coming to visit him every week, sometimes more than once a week if he needed me, or you know, like if I was going to be in the area, or like, you know, within a half hour, because I lived in Scituate, he lived in Hawkinton, so I would, you know, try to, you know, pop by. Like if I was in Natick, I'd be like, oh, whatever, it's another 20 minutes. So I would visit him, and you know, he was a total pervert. He had, like Doug said, all the porn. I didn't ever see anything creepy, but
Define creepy. Spider
like
porn.
like there was no kiddie porn. Like there wasn't anything like, it was
well,
just
that's no good.
he was just a hoarder. Like there was like he had a whole drawer full of peach pits, and he had a box, this like a refrigerator box full of egg cartons, and oh god, what else was there? Egg cartons,
magazine, Playboy magazine.
Playboy magazines, obviously.
From the 60s on up, every month.
A reel to reel, but like boxes of Jello, like empty, like a box full of empty Jello boxes, perfectly, they were used. He used all the Jello. How do you even use that much? How many boxes of Jello do you think you've eaten in your entire lifetime?
Yeah.
That you've prepared from Jello
That I
package?
prepared?
Not like
less than 100
package.
Less than 100. As
less
an
than
adult?
100 in your entire lifetime?
I would say,
like
probably
less than
100. I don't
10.
know. Yeah.
I've made
less than
Jello
100.
shots. That's when I have had Jello.
We've made
that
Jello
I've made.
shots. We've made
Jello shots.
yeah.
We've made Jello shots.
Yeah.
Jello shots with grape puckers and some Tito's vodka, and we ate it by the bowl.
I didn't do that. You did that.
He did not. It was me and my little friend.
I made some delicious cranberry Jello shots for Thanksgiving once in these little clear glasses with a sugared rim.
Yeah, but they were
garnish.
hard, so you had to like. And then we found out the kids were stealing them.
Kids stole them.
The teenagers had eaten about 30 of them.
Yeah. In teeny weeny glasses. How many? 72.
I don't know what you're talking about.
That's a line from Happy Days.
What episode?
The one where Richie gets drunk.
Do you actually remember that?
Yeah.
You're so weird.
The dad's sitting there with him.
starting to rain.
He's all drunk.
It's starting to rain. So anyway, Lenny. He was like he could be very brash. Like
Brash.
he just was very like more direct than I am, even like rude. Often rude. He would make comments about my boobs or like I don't know. He was constantly yelling at the people from the nursing home. He was constantly mad at somebody, and he definitely yelled at me more than once, and I just gave it right back to him, but he definitely hurt my feelings more than a few times. And it's so weird because like he so we took him out to see his house, and I would take him to do little errands, and I would pick little things up for him that he needed, or I'd have it shipped to him. I got him a camera for his room because he swore that they stole his Viagra, which it was sildenafil because it was for his heart. And he so I got him a camera, and then I would always get him like little gifts for like Easter and Valentine's Day and Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever. And we took him to his brother-in-law's funeral, which it involved taking 10 oxygen tanks. And of course that was Liz brought him down. I took him to the funeral and then drove him home. Then there was Thanksgiving. Remember when he came to Thanksgiving?
Mm-hmm. That was another 12 oxygen.
I don't
tanks.
know how we all got through that dinner. It was painful. Like he would just randomly start shouting out facts about the Celtics, and everybody was like, "Great, Lenny." But he did have some great stories, and he could be very sweet when he wanted to be.
Vietnam War hero.
He was. He's a war hero. He said
I don't know if he was a hero, but he was in Vietnam.
He was a helicopter pilot.
No, he wasn't a pilot. He was a
mechanic. Helicopter mechanic. He said he was in charge of the Jesus nut, and it's the nut on top that would hold the blade on. And the funny thing is, he was a Jew. So I don't know.
You'd think they would have several nuts, not just one that could fail.
I don't really know how it works. But he told me that one night they saw rats and they startled them, so they shot at them, and everybody thought it was an attack from the Viet Cong, and so like they were all on high alert for like 2 days or something. The other one was he had somebody that he knew, and Lenny had taken the gunning window for him one day on the helicopter, even though it wasn't his job. He took it so the guy didn't have to take it. It was I don't know, it meant a lot to him, and of course that's a really big deal. And you know, I know that we all have feelings about the Vietnam War, but you know, he was just a kid, you know, and he was just doing what he was told. And obviously I have so much respect for all of our service members, but again, I also take each individual as they are as a person. So you know, someone being a service member, it doesn't make them a good person. It might be part of what they are as a good person, but you know, I inherently have respect for people who try to serve others in some way. But I think we all know that there are certainly people in the world who claim to serve others, the entire government, but actually only serve themselves. I don't know. Anyway, what was my point?
You were talking about
Lenny.
Yeah.
So my nephew actually started doing work for him on his house, and he'd gotten it, you know, painted, and I'd hired some kids to go in and clean it out, and or as much as he would allow them to. Oh, sorry. First, my nephew was working there. Then I took the Volvo to get fixed. We thought it just had a dead battery. Mice had eaten all of the wiring, and it did $1,500 worth of damage. He had to put it through his car insurance.
Minus Volvo points right
Minus
there.
Volvo points for sure. So it wasn't driven, and yeah, it wasn't good. And so so I got his Volvo fixed for him. I got his lawnmower fixed for him. You know, just got him, like, mowed the lawn, like, did what we could to help out. Took him to the house so he could mow the lawn, which was hilarious. He did it on the Husqvarna. Got quotes to have, you know, there was some issues with the house. Actually, it's not even on the market yet. I don't know what they're going to do with it, but there were some issues with the house in terms of, you know, woodpecker holes and rotted wood that needed to be repaired. Actually, I don't think you could get financing. Do you think you can get financing on that house the way it currently is?
Yeah, structurally it's good. Probably the systems are half decent.
The wood, the frame, the exterior has a lot of wood rot.
Yeah, that's That's cosmetic stuff. That's like not.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, so well, and it's actually like so what happened is over Thanksgiving, Charles hadn't been there for 3-4 days, and we had a deep freeze. And he came back on Monday, and Charles is our nephew. The whole place was flooded. Apparently, a pipe, and they put pipes in New England in an exterior wall. So the hot water pipe for the tub burst, and it sprayed everywhere, and it did $100,000 worth of damage. So I brought some kids in to clean up all the damage. I hired a remediation company, and then we met with contractors, and he fought with the insurance.
And this is all while you have Lyme disease and are very.
I wasn't even able to take care of myself. I would just go there and sit in a chair, and I would make phone calls, and I would go home and collapse for 4 days.
Yeah.
And then I'd be able to get up for like an hour or two, and I would spend half the time getting yelled at, or I would get emails where he's yelling at me or whatever. Anyway, he and sometimes he was really nice. So he the house was damaged. The insurance company had already said they were going to drop him because he wasn't living in the house. They'd given him he had 2 more days when this happened. And they were going to drop him because they said nobody was living in the house. But he's like, well, I'm having the house prepared so I can move back into it. And so they were still saying no. So we called for the claim, and they were ready to reject it from the outset because there's only 2 days left before they cancel the policy. What the fuck? Of course, this is why we wanted to cancel you. And so I talked to the remediation guy, who's a super nice guy, John. I have his number if anybody ever needs one because he was awesome. He came in, got the whole place dried out, had his guys on it immediately. They were great. All of them were great. He said, get a private adjuster in here immediately. The private adjuster, they get 10% or whatever, but they get you more money and they'll deal with the insurance company for you. So he got this guy, Jeff, and he came in and he basically came in and dealt with the insurance company. I had to be interviewed. And they, inspected the property, took pictures, and they eventually paid the claim to the tune of $86,000. And the funny thing is, Lenny didn't cash the check for a year because he couldn't find it, and he didn't need the money. And he's like, "Oh, I'm probably getting better interest there than I am in my own account." So he just, he finally cashed it. And he told me months and months later. I found him a caregiver. We got him everything he needed for his house. And not so long after that, COVID hit, and 56 people at the facility he was living at were killed, died from COVID within the first, I think it was the first 90 days or something.
So you
it was crazy.
potentially saved this man who had severe COPD. You saved him from a horrible death.
He had congestive heart failure, COPD, and type 2 diabetes, and just generally being a prick. So, yeah. So,
So you moved him back into the house.
I feel good about that. I feel really good about that.
You moved him back into the house.
Got him back into his house, found him a caregiver. That was a whole mishigas. Knew him through a friend. He was down on his luck, moved in with his kid. That was no bueno. The kid was nuts. The father was nuts. Lenny was nuts. I can only imagine what was happening. The police were called multiple times. But I brought 3 qualified women in, and I brought the cheap guy that would just basically do it for $1,000 a month and live in. And so he went with the guy that was $1,000 a month and live in.
So you get what you pay for.
Yeah. And he got attacked one night, and the police came. And then, of course, he had multiple other times, and then he ended up going to the hospital. He wasn't doing so well for while there. Actually, the funny thing is, he had asked us to move in with him to take care of him. And we had finally decided that we would do it. And I told him. And then a week and a half later, as we're starting to plan accordingly, his nephew was going to do it, which is fine. But, he had been begging me for 2 years at this point. So the nephew didn't move in with him, and that's when I got the caregiver. And so anyway, he got to be at his home when he passed away. He passed away actually in the hospital. He was there 3 days. They were getting ready to send him home, and he took a turn for the worse. His nephew had been there. His nephews had been there. Liz had been there. I FaceTimed him. But, just that week, he had been a total jerk to me. And, it's funny. He would always be like, "Oh, I'm going to put you in my will." And, I didn't do things for Lenny because I wanted to be in his will. But, there's certain people. I actually had this, with my dad, too. It's you're really awful to me, but you tell me you love me. Like, I feel like there's got to be some punctuation at the end of this. Like that it's like that you're going to show me in some way that you love me. And I think like there are people, especially men, tend to be unable to express love. Because they weren't shown love that way themselves, and they think of showing love as providing for people, which, you know, makes sense with the like traditional male provider role. But like with both my, you know, my dad's still alive, and I didn't really feel like I had like the kind of like the love and support that I needed from him. And I feel like, but he is proud of me, so he will like try to show it to me in some way. And I would far rather have Lenny not be a dick to me, or my dad not be a dick to me, and have them like just be a positive part of my life than have any amount of money. But with Lenny, I kind of feel like, oh, is that what he's going to show? Like, is he going to leave me like 50 grand or something? Because he was a multimillionaire. So anyway, he passed, and of course we didn't get anything, but which is fine. But it was just like in the months prior, I'd asked him, you know, hey, what do you think we should do about buying a house? Because he's really up on this finance stuff, and he watches the economy very closely. And I said, what do you think about, should we try to get out of our lease now to buy a house, or should we wait till our lease is up and do it? And because I was worried about interest rates going up, but then I was also worried that we were going to have to pay 10 grand to get out of our lease. And that would have been basically our whole down payment. Not our whole down payment, but most of it, because we didn't really have a lot. We were going to put down 3%. So anyway, he, oh my God, he, not anymore. We're living on that money. So that he had said to me, well, it's time to bite the bullet and get a job. And I'm like, so I've been doing all of this shit for you for the last, you know, once a week I would go out there, sometimes twice a week. It's an hour drive there, an hour drive back. It cost me money, cost me time, and it took every bit of my energy. And I was just trying to do something nice for someone who's sick, which I can relate to, and someone who's a veteran, because I feel a responsibility to them, particularly Vietnam veterans. And I did as much as I could for him, and, you know, he thought that it was just easy. He thought I was faking being sick. Like, he thought that, like, I didn't fight for 3.5 years and have, like, so, like, I would, first of all, I made way more money when I was healthy. I had fulfillment. I loved my job. I loved what I did, and I miss it so much. You know, you know, my medical records are this thick. Like, it just bothers me. It bothers me when people think that, like, just because you can't see what's going on with someone. Like, if you saw me 10 years ago when I got diagnosed versus before I got diagnosed versus today, I'm a completely different person. Oh my God, I'm twice the size I was. Like, my body has totally changed. It's awful. Anyway, so he kind of sucked, and but I still feel good about helping him. I have somebody else that I'm kind of indirectly helping right now. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know this person hates me, and no matter what I do, it's, you know, I could cure cancer and give them $1 million. They're still going to hate me, but I'm still doing something nice for them, because it's nice. It's good for other people involved. It's good for the universe. I'm always going to do what I think is the right thing to do. And I have a lot of good memories of Lenny, and you know, I think his dying wish was to send his ex-wife the teacups that he hid from her in the divorce. And he was just a character. And I think there's, you know, you can learn things about people, you know, both their good qualities and their bad qualities. And you can love people despite their good qualities and bad qualities. I mean, you love me despite my good qualities and bad qualities.
Yeah, we have both.
Like, mostly that I talk too much. All right, so I'm going to check on the list. I think I found the list.
But I will say, for another podcast, I think I wanted to talk at some point about.
You wanted to talk at some point?
Yeah, and
sorry.
You had mentioned, like, your dad showing love the best way he could or whatever, and I wanted to talk at some point about how some folks, and when you've had good parents, you feel like everybody's had good parents, and a lot of people had rough upbringings and things like that, so they weren't really given the same tools or shown by example, especially when it comes to parenting, and that was one thing where I thought you were going with
Yeah, I mean, I think
with some
everybody,
of that stuff.
everybody, I think, the most important decision you'll ever make in your life is who your partner is. Um, you know, I have 4 amazing children, so you know, I'm so grateful for them. But if I had it to do over again, I would do it differently. And of course I did. So, it worked out. And, obviously, not all marriages, end in disaster. But I think, it's just a really important decision, which is why we think you should play Super Mario Wii together and beat the entire thing, get all the stars. You have to beat all 9 levels before you can get married. That's what we think. It should be a law. We're not big on, well, I'm not big on the government, but Doug loves the government.
I don't love the government. I'm just saying that there's just, like, not every, well, I don't.
Just getting you riled up. You better say you love the government. You're never going to get a government job. Say
right.
I love the government.
I'm going to say this. A lot of the policies and things that are put in place are put in there for a very good reason. And then people, with their greed and their milking the system and they're doing this and greasing this palm and everything else, that it gets off track.
There's a lot of things that should happen for a good reason that don't happen because they don't care about the reasons. They only care about themselves. Or so says the conspiracy nut.
Conspiracy nut. I am the, well, I have, I know we're kind of winding down on that, but I do have,
so what you're saying is I had shitty parents and that's why I'm a shitty parent?
No. You had a good example set to you from your grandparents, for sure.
I think so.
I certainly had good role models in my parents and, and others and other parents that would come around, my friends' parents and stuff like that. I did want to touch on when we talk about something from nature or something. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but in Texas, there's a mystery beast. It looks like some sort of big, oversized badger of some sort.
I think my mom's in Louisiana.
Your mom is potentially in Louisiana. She's not a mystery beast.
Sending her nothing but
well
positive
documented
vibes.
So any of you guys out there love a good mystery beast story, look it up. Texas, sort of mystery beast on a game cam.
I'm giving myself a haircut.
I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you're this is not a good podcast for you. You've taken phone calls. You've been a little jumpy.
But I'm your mystery beast.
You are. Well, no, you're no mystery.
I think I am. I think
some
people are like,
see, it bothers you.
Who is that girl? P.S. Watched Who's That Girl today. I'm going to make Doug watch it. You're going to love it.
I believe I've seen it before. I don't know.
Well, that's who I am. I'm Madonna in that movie. That's what I am. I have like a little twist to her. I'm Kimmy Schmidt, Kimmy Schmidt's landlord, and Madonna in Who's That Girl.
And Joy from My Name is Earl.
I am Joy from My Name is Earl. Except I need a manicure desperately. But I'm always scratching because it's part of my stupid disease. Okay, so what was I talking about? There's so many things. Maybe
we do our gratitude and put this put this one to bed.
Story time. Health item.
A health item? Eat bananas. They're good for you.
Bananas contain potassium, which is really good for your heart, but they can be binding. So think about it. Strawberries also have a lot of potassium.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're.
I was going to say.
Is this off medical? Because I have a medical.
It is
thing.
An off of medical.
Let me finish my medical thing.
Okay, go back.
So the other medical thing that we had this morning was Doug was drinking fluid and he kept running to the bathroom. And I'm explaining to him.
I also have a 57-year-old prostate.
He went like 6 times, and it was.
I had to go.
Can you just let me finish my fucking story?
Please. I had to go. What am I supposed to do? Not go?
No, I'm not telling you not to go.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to tell you that you don't have any electrolytes. So, Doug goes to the bathroom 8 times. Only this morning, doesn't do it all the time. But he goes, and it's full stream. I can hear him from the next room, pissing like a racehorse. He says it's not full stream. Okay. But I can hear it in the next room. So
it's not like I was when I was 10.
Okay.
10. I don't know.
But what I explained to him is what my cardiologist, Dr. Darrell Lee Lewis, explained to me, is that your body tries to maintain homeostasis. So if you don't have enough electrolytes, you're gonna need more water, right? So if you don't have enough electrolytes, you're gonna pee out because it's gonna want to reduce the dilution of the electrolytes. But if you have too much electrolytes, you'll maintain water. So you need electrolytes. It's not just the water, it's the minerals and the water. And you can get a really good amount of electrolytes in, gosh, I think pineapple juice, coconut water, other drinks that have electrolytes in them. Or just put a pinch of Himalayan salt in your water. But make sure it's real Himalayan salt, not the fake stuff. There's a lot of fake stuff out there. People do baking soda too. Go ahead, you were saying?
I was cooking tonight. We have a thing of Himalayan pink salt, and the Himalayan. I think the company was like Himalayan Mysteries, that imports the salt from the Himalayas. It's in Connecticut. I'm sure they can import stuff to Connecticut from the Himalayas, but
We should probably research it
should-
before we
we should
bought. 'Cause
kinda
I think
look
I
at it.
probably that was before I bought the bag. It's a big bag. I bought it before we knew they're supposed to research it. We also have the salt lamps in pretty much every room.
I don't know. The salt lamps are problematic. They leach. They get like all.
It's actually funny when we were packing to move. One of my friends just goes, "I'm taking this." We had already given him half the house. We gave away so much stuff, and that felt really good. It was like, there was definitely things we gave away that we probably could have sold and gotten some money for. But,
Yeah.
But we weren't patient with the selling. We only had 30 days, and it was like November. Like nobody's buying your shit in November. So we sold. So we gave. What did we give?
We gave away a snowblower, didn't we?
We gave the Browns a snowblower. We gave Todd Alvey 2 kayaks, a 7mm brand new wetsuit, a massive mahogany like curved armoire,
A model of a '70s van.
a model of a 70s van. His parents had the exact same van that Doug put together when we were in Bridgeton. On vacation, we were the year before we went to Bridgeton.
When I was a kid, we used to do models, all the model cars. So that we were up in Bridgeton, and they had like the model kits, like the same company, probably same molds, everything. So I got myself a model kit. I did a model.
We were playing like a board game or something.
You
Doug
guys
was
were watching a
half-playing.
movie or
I
something. I
don't
was
know what
over
we were
there
doing.
making a model.
Anyway, he took a shower naked outside.
I
It
did.
was so cute.
Yeah, it was nice. It was communing with nature.
And you went jet skiing for the first
I
time?
did. I went jet skiing. It was a lot of.
He was
lot of
terrified. I had to force him. I have to force him to do a lot of things. He's afraid.
Fun. I can't swim, so fall off the jet ski,
die.
drowny.
So,
So-
are you going to get in the jet ski with me now?
I'm not getting on a jet ski with you ever.
I made a grown man shit his pants.
It wasn't me. See, there's certain
Nope.
things. There's certain things that
I made a grown man
uh,
shit his pants. Shit. It's actually the second time. Well, the first one shit his pants. The other one almost had a heart attack. He was like, "Stop, slow down. You're scaring me."
Okay, so here's the thing.
Big dude.
I am smarter than people that you can con into doing things. And
Conned
you don't
into
like
going
it.
on a jet ski. Who has ever had to be conned into going on a jet ski?
On the back of a jet ski with you, you would have to
You're gonna
con
be like,
me.
hold on, and you can't think with these things.
Yeah, but when I fling off the back and you don't even notice because you're like, wee. Yeah. That would you just relax? This is your brain on drugs, people.
Okay.
What is going on with your hair? It looks like Tawny Gatane half on the hood of a car in a White Snake video.
If I
okay.
swing my head, I would hit your monitor with a bead and crack your brain.
You know,
back off.
a music related note. I just read that Tawny
An expense
Gatane.
we didn't need this year. Go ahead.
Tawny Gatane was not the first person that was supposed to be in the White Snake video. She ended up taking over for someone else who now, like, I totally forgot who that was. I just wrote it. I read it. 2
Belinda
days ago.
Carlisle.
No, Belinda Carlisle was a singer. She wasn't an actress on the hood of a car.
Susanna Hoffs.
She was also a singer and songwriter. I do. I actually like both of them. They're very, very good. And Joan Jett. We talked about
Do
Joan
you know I
Jett
can't
yesterday.
have a center part because I'm a Gen Xer. They don't look. You can't have one. I can't.
Well, because you got your hair tied in knots.
It's
and
either,
bedazzled.
It's either left or right. There's no center.
There's no middle.
It's left, right, center. Oh my god, I love that game, but I like playing it with money. Like we never have enough adults around. Like I'll throw in $5.
We need
$5, $15.
We need to become swingers in the villages, just to have people around. Left, right, center, and you get like whatever's, like you write the couple's name on the thing. And
You could do that with organs or supplements, pills,
Organs.
drugs. Yeah, room keys. Is that what they're doing up at the villages? There's a big spike. There's a place. It's like a over 55 community called the Villages. It's north of Orlando, and there's a big swinging problem. Not problem, but not swinging.
Well, it's
the
not a problem
is
for
like
the-
that.
not a problem for them.
It's the STD problem. They're having an STD problem. So
it only takes one bad apple, folks.
once we were in the car, and one of my kids goes, "Who in this car has AIDS?" Douglas.
It was very subtle. There was a pause. Who in this car has AIDS? Douglas.
2 birds, 1 bird.
Well, 2 birds and 1 bird. And I did not have AIDS.
You
I
don't know about 2 birds, 1 bird. It was in yesterday's
2 birds,
podcast.
1 bird. Okay. That's that.
Okay, wait. So we've just got to go down our list. Okay, so that was our health item. Local news item was the.
There's a lot of local news. That's. There's now video of Croczilla down in.
There was a woman in her Jeep found alive underwater after 2 days. It was a Wrangler too.
But it wasn't in Florida, right? It was in Texas.
I don't know where it was. I wasn't paying attention.
So don't do that. Like if you have a Jeep, don't flip it over into a pond.
It wasn't flipped
Stay
over.
on the road.
It was straight up.
It was straight up.
Yep.
She just drove right in.
I don't know what she did. I didn't read the story, but I should have read the story before I commented about this.
To die.
Dude, she could have had a seizure or something. You're making fun of somebody. Like, don't. Sorry, lady in the Jeep. We hope you're okay.
You don't
You're
know
not
that.
too traumatized.
She might have just driven into the lake thinking that the Jeep could handle the lake.
I don't think that given, first of all, somebody who doesn't ever go off-roading with us because you're a fraidy cat, because you're afraid I'll kill you.
No, all
like
right,
on
so
a jet ski.
here's the thing.
Sometimes I go in a puddle and I get stuck, but I've never stayed there for 2 days.
Okay.
Sure, but it could happen.
Here's the thing.
If anybody would do that, it would be me. I just wouldn't have my top on. I always have my top off.
Have you ever been jostled around like on a really, really like I don't know, just some carnival ride?
Yes.
Like that's what it's like going off-roading when you're not driving. When you're driving, it's fun. If you're not the driver, it's not fun.
I let Zach drive all the time. He hit a fucking tree in New Hampshire, 4 hours up a mountain, and that was rocks the whole way.
I
Maybe
believe
just
he had to drive because you would sprain your ankle or something.
Yes, I'd sprained
Yeah.
my ankle, but I let him drive. But here's the point. You have a sensitive asshole. I do not. You don't have the padding I have. He has absolutely no ass. The legs meet at the top just like this, and there's nothing. So it's easy access to his butthole. So when he sits down, he's got bones and butthole. For me, I got 12 inches of padding. Your girl's got a badonkadonk, and there's something in those bushes. Probably Croczilla. That would be so cool.
A croc? Yeah, I'm not gonna.
You would hide behind me like you did when we got here.
I'm not gonna.
We saw a
wrestle
crocodile, an alligator.
It was coming.
It
It
moved.
was coming at us. I jumped back behind the bench.
It moved.
And she's sitting on the bench, like, you know. I'm like,
moved itself in a
don't
fucking
you understand that you are now in danger?
Fancy fucking birds. I don't know if you heard that.
That was a bird.
Okay. So,
Thank you for that impression of the bird.
I don't know if you can hear it, but it was cute. So, we were talking about.
What is the
he hid
bird
behind
doing?
me in front of the freaking alligator because
He hid behind the bench. The thing's coming at us.
He got up and ran
And
behind
I'm like,
his wife.
And I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, my wife
wasn't
is
coming at
that
us.
dumb that
It
she
was,
doesn't know how to evade
Here,
a predator.
he was like this, and he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna go like this now," and that's what happened. And then he went, "Oh, I'm gonna go in the water."
Went right in that water. He was coming right for us. We were right on the floor.
Never got within 20 feet of us, not once.
Yeah, but he could have.
Hiding behind me,
He could have. He could have
behind
come.
his wife. What
Look,
happened?
I know
What
that-
happened? What happened with the meth head in Jacksonville?
I didn't hide from that. We already told that story on the podcast.
I'm still telling it. Meth head, Jacksonville, gas station. Doug leaves me alone with him instead of being like, "Hey, honey,
I
get in
had
the
to
car.
pee.
We gotta go."
We were driving
He's
to
like,
Florida.
"No, I have to pee. Let me leave my wife alone with a crackhead."
It was not. He was in a vehicle.
He was a crackhead.
Yeah, but he was in a vehicle.
Oh, a
He's-
crackhead with a car makes it better. A crackhead with a car can abduct me and take my organs and try to sell them.
Ha! Jokes on them. You're full of Lyme disease.
I would like to die.
It's great. It's a great podcast.
I told him it was either going to be really funny or depressing. People, dark sense of humor. Get with the program. Okay. So our international news item was that Russia, maybe not Russia, we don't know. Somebody look it up. Well, look it up. Who knows? Song of the day.
You can pick any song of the day. Do you have one?
I am going to go with I Only Pray to God When I Need a Favor by Jelly Roll. I love that song. Do you like it?
Yeah, but it was funny. That was the first time I heard anything but those two popular songs from Jelly Roll, and I kind of didn't like the other stuff.
I think that one is popular. I don't know. I don't know which other songs we heard. There was an Eminem song. I don't think you like that one, but I love that
Oh,
one.
no, I think I like that one, yeah.
Anyway, it was an Eminem Jelly Roll song. So
But there
anyway,
was some other stuff that was.
he did that song with the CMTs, and I really liked it. And I think he's super talented, and I love his relationship with his wife, and I love a good comeback story. He was a former felon, and now he is living the dream. And and he seems like a really nice person, but he could be a total prick. I don't know.
But little known fact, he's not filled with jelly.
He might be.
He's not filled.
I
I
don't know.
asked.
You asked him?
Yeah, I asked
I think that
Google.
would have gotten you punched in the nuts.
I asked Google, I go, what is Jelly Roll filled with? And he's like, he's just filled with organs and tissue and blood.
Yeah, it's like when you ask ChatGPT if midgets, little people or dwarves have penises of the right size or the wrong size. Not that there's a right size or a wrong size. Yours is the perfect size.
Well, what about like
It's perfect.
Okay. What else do we have? Gratitude.
Wait,
Gratitude
hang
that
on.
this podcast is over.
Song, story time with Doug. Did you have any? You did have any stories? Did you tell any stories?
I have stories, but it's too late for my stories. A craft.
A craft. We have to get a Weeblo book. Does anybody have some Boy Scouts or some Weeblo books so we can earn some badges? We'll make ourselves like little. He'll draw them. Okay. Gratitude. Story. Cooking.
Cooking.
Say something to cook.
I made a nice pizza tonight. That
Oh.
was in pizzas.
Tell how you
are
make a
easy.
pizza.
Oh, you know what the key to this pizza was? I rolled out the dough and I sprinkled it with garlic powder. I didn't have any fresh garlic, so I just and it gave enough flavor around the breadth and depth of this.
You also need to buy an Arrow Garden for this and make yourself some Mel's Mix, which is 1/3 manure, 1/3 peat, and 1/3 1/3 compost, 1/3 coarse vermiculite, 1/3 peat moss. You make that and you bring it from Massachusetts with you to Florida. Then you get an Arrow Garden, you transplant the herbs and you grow those out by your pool, and then you use the tomatoes and
Just
the
easy.
basil to make the pizza. And what
So
else
the tomatoes are, I think they're either called micro cherry tomatoes or mini cherry tomatoes. I don't know. There's some distinction. They're not cherry tomatoes, but they're smaller. They're probably about
They're right there. You just grab
twice
one.
twice the size of a blueberry.
Grab one. So we have these cherry tomatoes. They're delightful. And he gets basil that we've grown, and he puts that with cheese and
See, it's that big.
Little
That's
tiny baby.
little tiny. It's not even a grape tomato.
what are you doing?
I'm making it organic on my shirt.
Oh my god.
Oh, I was in the store once, and it was in Wegmans. The husband was shopping with the wife and a couple kids, and the wife comes back and he goes, "Honey, I got all the produce you needed, and I got organic." She goes, "We don't need that. We can just wash regular at home." Like thinking that there was just pesticides on it, but not in it. Like I thought it was a little short-sighted. So, anyways, it made me laugh because you think you can just take regular food, wash it, and make organic. No, that's not how it works, folks. But it made me laugh, and I felt bad for the guy because here he's got, he's doing his best. He's like, I'm gonna spend the extra for my family, do a little nice thing, and get organic. It's
I
gonna
actually
be better
really
for those little
hate
kids.
like how, and particularly in television, but like men are treated like they're like the idiot of the family, like they contribute nothing, and that the mother does everything, and that's, yes, there are certainly cases where their mother does do everything.
Not in this house.
But not in this house, that's for damn sure.
I'm
not
doing
not
stuff.
in any house with
I
Doug
make a
Gear in it.
pizza.
He made a pizza. Well, and
So-
he'll finish his recipe in a minute. But my point is that, a lot of people, like, they act like the man is an idiot, or, like, that all he does is watch sports and, work. And it's like, well, if you're supporting a family, that's a pretty big freaking deal. And they don't get credit for the things that they do. And I think it's bullshit. Like, I think that men deserve, credit for what they do. And just every individual should be judged by themselves. And I'm sick of the idea in television that the dads are all idiots, and I hate the ideal that, especially in divorce, that women are crazy and men are dirtbags or abusers or whatever, they're deadbeats. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous, and it's simply not true. And I could tell you some very specific stories where it's not. But I'm not gonna go into that today. I don't know. Fuck around and find out. And anyway, that's not the point. The point is,
It's my favorite new
fuck around
phrase.
and find
Yeah.
out?
Well, there's a chart with Josh Allen, and it's got a bar going
it's
up.
just
and
funny
it's
because
very funny.
there's a lot of people out there I've done a lot for, and a lot of those people have turned on me, and there's
I'm
times
about to
when I
turn
think
on
to
you
myself,
just cause.
I got the tea on you, girl.
Oh.
And boy, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Why does everybody tell me everything? Oh, yeah.
I ain't
Because
telling
even
you
when I have
shit.
a podcast and I could blackmail them, I don't do it. Okay. So, that was, do you have an Owly fact of the day?
An Owly fact of the day. I think we were kind of talking about. I have something that is sort of Owly
Oh, you
related.
didn't
It's
finish
not.
your pizza. Sorry.
Someone said that noise that you heard was a burrowing owl, which
possible.
is entirely possible because what other bird
You're
in
not
their
supposed to
right
interact.
mind? I'm not interacting. I'm just because I'm talking about nature things. Anyways, in it regarding an owl. What is the problem?
No.
Okay. So, anyways, if you guys want to watch something on Reels or whatever, look up Gorilla Girls. It's actually this close-up camera of these gorillas just eating stuff. I can watch it all day. It's amazing.
He does. Not all that.
And I watch it and I
He's
laugh.
sitting there just laughing his head off. Like,
And it's like they'll eat a banana, but they eat it sideways, or like they'll peel. Some will peel it, eat the banana, and then eat the peel, but not eat the stem. And it's just the weirdest thing. Like none of them eat the stem, but the peel's okay.
so you're
It's
saying
very
is gorillas have sensory issues?
well, they're sitting there eating a pepper, an onion, like another one's eating.
I can't imagine eating an onion whole.
Oh my god! And then another one's they were eating peppers are a big one.
Actually, I heard a comic talk about that recently. That they thought that the white sweet Vidalia onions were like somebody said they were like an apple, and they bought them and bit into them.
Oh yeah.
I don't know,
That
it was-
used to have my dad
It
used
was
to.
on the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, which we have been watching. I am a cross between the landlord and Kimmy.
Yeah. My dad, I think my dad used to eat turnips just with a knife, like sitting there just eating turnips.
Raw?
And I thought he was eating an apple one day, and he's like, "You want some?" I'm like, "Sure." And I eat it. I'm like, that. And when you're expecting apple,
I love turnips.
and you
I
get a
love
turnip.
parsnips.
No, it wasn't a turnip. It was a turnip's the round one, right? What's the round one?
Turnip.
Turnip. Yeah. So he was eating a
I
turnip.
love turnips and I love parsnips. My favorite
Parsnips
thing
are great.
we used to have all the time growing up is carrots and parsnips, and you would mash it, and it was so good. And yeah,
It's a parsnip
actually, we
mash.
only had it on Thanksgiving, which is bullshit. I would eat that all the time.
We had a recipe that called for a
You should make
a
that.
pot pie, but it had a
Turnips
mashed
and
turnip,
carrots.
a mashed turnip top. It was fantastic. Anyways, so yeah, don't expect apple and get turnip. It doesn't turn out. It's not
It's not the same thing. Although we made a shepherd's pie with a parsnip top, and it was
That's
better.
I just told,
It was actually.
told them about that.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I'm having
Yeah.
a hard time. Okay, it was sweet. It was
It
better
was, it
than
was
normal.
sweet.
Okay,
Yeah, it was
so,
good.
so that was your cooking thing. The pizza,
Pizza was easy. Yeah, just
crust.
store bought
Olive oil.
crust. Let it rise over on the just on the stove for out of the fridge till it got warm. Rolled it out, put it on the pizza stone. Boom, boom, boom. Cut up the tomatoes.
So olive oil and garlic salt.
No olive oil was used in this.
Garlic salt?
I put the garlic salt, put the tomatoes, put the basil all torn up. Then I put the mozzarella pearls that I had because they were on sale, 2 for $1, Publix. Put them all around, and then I salt and pepper the top of the thing. Put it on the pizza stone. Bake.
Was it organic?
Was what organic?
The mozzarella.
The organic? No, it is not mozzarella.
Okay, so I think
no.
we have
It's
to
hard to
start-
get
I hate to say
organic
this,
mozzarella.
but Costco has it.
Well-
I'm trying to do a Costco trip, but I haven't been feeling well.
Yeah,
Maybe
we've
we
been
just
talking
do.
about that for a while.
We might just do an Instacart because it'll be way cheaper, and even if we have to tip somebody, or how much do you tip on Instacart for like a $500 order? Because that's what we'll end up buying because we need toilet paper.
$5.
No, I over tip usually.
I'll
but
just drive. I
We're
would
not
just
in a
drive to
financial
Costco.
position we can. Well, you won't go without me. Okay, gratitude.
Gratitude. I'm grateful this podcast is over tonight because I have a headache, and it was just yeah. And I enjoy doing the podcast, but I do have a headache, and it is what it is.
Okay, that seems really grateful.
It's not well. It's,
Starting off on a positive note, I am thankful that whatever is out there has not come in here to get us.
well, there's a screen to hold back critters.
There was a rabbit over there the other day.
It's probably just that owl
I
attacking
think
the
it might
rabbit.
be the palm, and I think a little bit of it's the floats.
Okay, so I am grateful that I got an interview today, and I have another meeting with my sort of career consultant tomorrow. So that's those are good things. I actually got. Oh, never mind. I'll save my other stuff for my other gratitudes.
I am grateful that it's been like a cooler Florida day. It's just like a treat. It's weird. Like when it's cold, it's kind of a treat. Not when it's cold, but like when it's not, like today, it's like breezy and like
Temperate.
nice weather.
76.
It's I love that.
Yeah, it's nice out here tonight. It's beautiful. I am grateful I got to work on a little bit of my music this afternoon. Between the pizza and looking for jobs and things of that nature, things are coming along. And like because I've been working on this for a while, and you go and revisit songs, and then you're like, and every time I'm working on a song, I'm like, yeah, I think this was my favorite. But then they're like then I go back and then I'm, so it's funny how like it's kind of like your kids. You can't pick a favorite because they're very different, but they're all great, and
I
whatever.
still think he should cover Family Man by Hall & Oates. I think it would be amazing. It'd be so good, like a punk cover of Family Man. I don't know how that works though. I think you have to get them to like, I don't know.
I need a lawyer.
Sign a permission slip or something. I can do it. Me and ChatGPT, baby. Well, the other thing is Daryl Hall had Lyme, so maybe he'll be like all like, oh.
Actually, I know a guy that is friends with Daryl Hall.
So maybe he like,
Who I wished a happy birthday 3 days ago. Never said anything.
So the thing that's really
So
cool.
he must have lost his phone.
So it's really cool, I think, is when a musician's covered and the cover does well. The original actually has a spike in sales. So if somebody wants to cover your song, you should let them cover your song.
Yeah, like when when the performers covered Main Street Rag, it brought newfound.
I don't know who Main Street Rag is.
It's the Blue Moon Band. It's a good tune.
I don't know that.
Anyways, we redid it.
I like Gimme Gimme when you did it. That was good.
That was also a cover.
I know, that's why I said it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Okay, so that was that was your like? You like that you worked in your
Yeah, I like that I got the opportunity to work on music today, and I was actually thinking, and that's a gratitude thing. It's that this opportunity to do something I've been wanting to do pretty much my entire life is just put an album of my music together and play all the instruments and stuff like
And
that.
he's
So
doing
and I'm able to do that, and
Still some issues with the editing we're working on.
closing in on 10 songs
If you know
in
anything,
the can.
please give us a call.
So, anyway.
But if you want a preview of the new album, there's a clip of Perfectville, which is an absolutely amazing song. Like it's one of those songs that I think like if it hit, it would hit, and it would get so annoying because they would play it nonstop. Anyway, it's on DouglasGear.com. If
Click
you go
on
to
bio.
and then right in there is the song. So what else?
Your gratitude.
My gratitude. So am I at 4?
I think you're at 4.
My number 4 is I'm really grateful that you're working on your music. I think it's something that you should have been doing all along. It really bothers me that you hadn't been encouraged to do that. And I'm telling you, I have been hounding him for the entire 10 years of our marriage to work on his music. And he's finally just now starting to do it, like more seriously. Because before, I can't even get a riff of the day out of him. I can't even get a song out of him. He's finally got a song that's about me-ish. But I don't think people will get it because it's called Blueberry Cocaine. I have never done cocaine, but I do eat blueberries.
But if they did have a flavored
look like a
cocaine,
blueberry.
I would think that would be one of the greatest things in life.
I think so.
Like a Smartie. Like I would imagine, like if you had flavored cocaine that was flavored like a Smartie, or like something like that.
I don't
that
want
would
it to be
good.
flavored like a Smartie, and I think a Smartie might be cocaine.
Oh, I don't want to sniff
Crush
a
up
Smartie.
a
But
Smartie, snort us.
Yeah,
Smartie,
let us
get
know
back
how
to
that
us.
goes.
This show should not be listened to by anyone. We do not have brains. Do what you think is best.
Anyway.
There could be an alligator, a croxilla. Okay,
we're
tell your
safe.
story.
I don't have a story. What do I? Have
What's
to
your
say?
gratitude?
I think my gratitudes
Yep.
have been.
There you go,
I was
one more.
gratitude that.
And then I have one more.
I am grateful. I was grateful for a really good night's sleep last night.
Oh, thank you, Phenabut.
Phenabut. If anybody out there needs a supplement for sleep and you don't want to wake up all groggy, there's a supplement called Phenabut. PHENIBUT. Sounds funny, Phenabut, haha, but it works. It actually was developed for the cosmonauts on the space station because they could take it, go to sleep, wake up without like that hangover, and drive your car into a
It
lake.
works amazing. It doesn't have side effects. It's available. You want to get it in the powder form if you can because it works better, but there's also a capsule.
Just get the capsules.
I think
It tastes terrible.
It tastes
Yeah,
terrible,
yeah.
but the powder works better.
Well, it's faster because it doesn't have to dissolve in your stomach. But
Hey, maybe you take it out of the capsule and
Snort it off a
80s
hooker's
style.
snort it
Oh my
off a
God.
hooker's chest.
Do you
like
want to play Wolf of Wall Street? You can snort it out of my ass.
out of your ass.
Isn't that what he did on Wolf of Wall Street?
I think he did.
Was
yeah.
Venus the hooker?
Who the fuck was Venus?
We
Who's-
love that movie.
It's so good.
She
was
this-
it
Venus was the dominatrix.
Oh right. Who the hell was Venus? Venus? Who?
And
What do you
what
want?
they
Owl?
had to- What are you, a fucking owl?
That was so good.
Okay. Anyway, are you glad you have a husband that keeps in such great shape like this? Look, honey, it's Rocco and Rocco. Anyway, that's not my point. Okay, my final item is I'm super thankful for everybody who tunes in the podcast. Thank you so much. It means so much to us. If you could share, like, comment, we would really appreciate it. Now we get to talk to our friends. Yay!
Yay.
Thank you for all for being so patient. We have 4 viewers tonight. I don't know who it is.
I think most of these were Tracy, and at one point she does ask if she was the only one commenting. So,
She might be. I don't know.
but then, then Jeff came in.
Yeah, I like Infinite Wishes. I think it's like I like where it's going, where you're going with it, but I worry that people would get spoiled because I've seen what happens when you spoil people. I certainly spoiled my kids, yeah, you know, I don't think that they're spoiled as a lot of kids, but you know, like you want your kids to earn things and they appreciate them more. It's a hair. Oh, the one that was on my belly that you were afraid of? Yeah, he's afraid of a hair. He's weird.
Body things gross me out.
Body things gross him out.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
Like I can't watch that pimple popper
He
show.
still does.
That's
He dines
gross
at the
as
Y
hell.
and everything, but some things gross him out.
Great.
Well,
no,
I mean,
no, but
that
the
would be
pimple
first-
popper show,
if
that's
you told
gross.
me-
There's
if you
things
said
that
to
are
me,
gross.
Things about the body bug me. I'd be like, oh, that guy doesn't eat pussy. And here we are. So now we know. Okay. Hello world. Would you like? Yeah, it would be nice if the world would hire Doug. He needs, you know, 175 grand a year would be nice, but that would make us like
It's on the low end,
comfortable.
folks.
Comfortable. It sounds like a husky in the background. I think it's a pug. Level up. I don't really know what that means. Oh yeah, on Mario we're leveling up. We're trying to level up in our lives too, hence trying to juggle multiple projects. Because we can. Yeah, people are making too much noise in your neighborhood tonight. It can get crazy. I really need to be in the country. I need more, like I want a genuine problem that a crocodile might walk into the house because that means that there's not like a ton of people. I'm glad that you're laughing. That makes me so happy. Yes, Sheldon Cooper could identify that award. I don't know what normal is. Oh my God. We represent the Lollipop Guild. Do you know what that's from?
It's Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
But
oh
I
my
don't know
God,
what it
and then
refers to.
We welcome you to Munchkin.
Yeah, but why is she? I don't know what.
She
that
got
was
distracted
me.
by something. She said it was very exciting tonight.
Yeah, with all kinds of stuff.
Don't
happening.
forget to cut your screens during a hurricane. It's a rental. We don't do that. We let them
You know who
replace
cut the
screen.
screens last time? Mother Nature.
Oh yeah, yeah. Actually, one of
Sliced
the.
and diced them.
I think that's one of the. You have to check and tell me if that's one of the new screens, but it's out on the back on the far right
Yeah, I saw that. On the bottom or on the top?
bottom.
Yeah, I saw that.
So we throw some Gorilla Tape on there.
No, I'm gonna go out there and mess with it.
Okay, well, Gorilla Tape. Bring it with you just in case.
You don't know what's in that bush, folks. There could be coral snakes,
Rattlesnakes.
eastern diamondbacks.
If you can find a hole in one, you might be okay. A hole in what?
I don't remember what it was.
Never die about.
I don't
Weird.
remember. But holes is holes, people. You heard it here.
Oh my God, don't say that. Yeah. It's definitely a mass hole that called during the podcast. Tracy, you should know him. It's my friend Zach. He actually is an incredible handyman, property manager. He works for a local company, and he is the nicest guy on the planet. You would absolutely love him. If you would like an intro,
He just
I'm
needs
happy
to be
hook you
shown
up.
some boundaries on not to call during
A podcast. He can call me anytime he wants. He's one
I'm
of my
not.
closest
I
friends.
don't know what town those
Love
guys
him
live
to
in.
pieces.
but
You know, we haven't heard
are
from is
probably-
Christina.
Christina.
Christina, are you okay? Let us know. She's probably not watching because this is way past her bedtime. She goes to bed early. I actually bought her a doormat for her house that said, "Welcome. Please go home by 9. Please leave by 9." She gets up super early and gets on that Peloton, and girl, it shows. Anyway, I haven't talked to her, so I have to check on her.
Early is not.
Anyway, yeah, and it's funny because Christina, me, a few other people I know moved down to Florida, and I think you, and even Doug, like, you become like a different person. Like you're lighter and happier, and you know, like we noticed the negativity in Massachusetts was like a problem when we got down here. Sorry guys, but we noticed a big difference between like just being away from it, seeing people's attitudes, and a lot of people like were like had so much negative shit to say about us moving to Florida. Like, oh, we
did?
didn't want to live there, and blah blah blah, DeSantis, and I don't like the, it's
Well,
gonna be
hey.
humid all the time, and it's
yeah.
so flat. There's too many houses. There's too many trees. Oh no, there's no trees. We have more species of trees than any other state in the country.
It's like a goddamn terrarium down here.
It's like a terrarium. It's crazy. Actually, we should make a little ding darling video.
A ding darling video.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting, folks. It's just you drive over a bunch of crabs and they make a crunching sound, and then you see an iguana, and then you see giant
Spoonbills
birds
and pelicans and
although we should go down because it's alligator mating season, and they're running around Sanibel right now.
alligators.
They're the best kind.
I don't feel like you could safely have interspecies erotica with
With an alligator,
alligator. I don't think that would be safe.
it's probably more safe for the man to have sex with an alligator because
So you're gonna have sex with an
the
alligator?
lady would have to be under the
you know how
alligator.
they always grab your wiener and do things with it?
Yeah.
That's
you
what we're
that
gonna
a
do.
lot.
Come here. I got one right here. Come on, put your put it-
That's enough. You've had enough fun with the
Party
alligator.
pooper.
We actually put this next to the pool, like just to fool people, because they come over like, oh my
Ah,
god.
it's an alligator.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who writes? And I think you might be the only one writing in tonight. Usually we get some like later. It depends on the night. And then I get people that'll text me or like the next day, and we do get some comments on our YouTube as well. I need to put the YouTube links up actually on my page. I haven't been doing it. I'm so far behind on everything. I haven't been feeling well. I'm sorry.
I do like this Jeff that is writing in about the local wildlife. There was a report online that there were crocodiles in Cape Coral, and they were in a certain area that I don't want to talk about right now because I don't want people flocking there to look at them. But yeah, they said there were some in a certain area of Cape Coral. So Google it if you. But I didn't really believe it, but hey, they said they're as far north as Tampa sometimes. But anyway,
So
it's
Jeff
good.
actually
But I
from
like the
Cape-
nature.
So Jeff from Cape Coral, who's like my new friend from last week, he chimed in, and he's the one who mentioned that it was a burrowing owl. It could be a burrowing owl. We also have bunnies over. So we have like
I
a
believe
whole
Jeff-
bank of trees and bushes, and there's a rabbit that lives over there. So it could be the burrowing owl. It could be
wasn't
the
the
lizards.
rabbit.
It could be the
I'll tell
cat.
you
It
that
could
much.
be. Well, it could have been the rabbit.
Rabbits don't go.
Oh, that was the noise of a burrowing owl. Ah,
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
fancy fucking bird. Thank you, Jeff. You're brilliant. I'm gonna call you the mayor of Cape Coral. I don't know if I would want that job. Would you want that job?
What?
Mayor of Cape Coral?
I don't really know enough about Cape Coral, other than there's all kinds of crazy traffic on Del Prado. That's all I know.
Can I tell you the one thing we haven't had? I haven't seen a single snake in our property.
On our property? Well, we're not really near any wooded areas or
Well,
vacant
we have that
areas.
wooded area right there, and then the lot behind us is vacant. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but it
there's-
is generally
there's-
very urban
yeah,
here.
Yeah.
We do have a lot
Now
of
Northwest, there's some urban areas up in Northwest, and there are some rattlesnakes up there, as reported on Cape Coral.
He said, "No,
Monthly
please
or
don't
whatever.
do that." Oh, call him the mayor of Cape Coral. That's funny. Oh, is that guy Frank with the lights? Is he the mayor of Cape Coral? I don't even know. My hair looks even crazier now. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's where we're at. We had a crappy day, but we ended in a positive note with you guys. Somebody else was there. I don't know. Tracy, we're sorry we kept you up so late. You got work tomorrow.
She logged off.
I
She's
don't
got
know
a
who
job
else
to
is
do.
here.
She's got a
Jeff,
job.
thank you so much. Zach is I don't know. He might be watching too. Todd might be watching. I don't know. Thank you guys. We love you so much.
all
And
good.
again, if you like what we're doing, share it with your friends. And if you hate what we're doing, share it with your enemies.
And be careful out there.
Have a good night.
See ya. Bye.